Hello and welcome to this edition of FYI Weekly, your official source for City of Greensboro news and information. Procter & Gamble announced plans to expand its manufacturing facility located on Swing Road. The extra 80,000 square feet will generate an additional 46 jobs in Greensboro. The company plans to invest $110 million for this expansion. Mayor Nancy Vaughn said Procter & Gamble is a household name and the company is highly respected globally. This expansion is a prime opportunity for Greensboro and Guilford County to add quality jobs as we enhance our advanced manufacturing portfolio. Anita Bachman, chair of the Greensboro Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors, said our strong workforce makes our community one of the best places to do business. Procter & Gamble says expanding its operations in Greensboro will enable them to better meet demand for their products and serve consumers. The company looks forward to many years of partnership and growth. The Planning Department, in conjunction with the Greensboro Housing Development Partnership, is accepting electronic proposals for a mixed-use development. This involves a property within the Martin Luther King Jr. Drive North Initiative of the Old Ashboro redevelopment area. The 4-acre plot is located at 802 Pearson Street. The property is part of a focused redevelopment effort by the city and community residents. Proposals should include residential and commercial components and incorporate the downtown greenway which cuts through the property. The request for proposals contains all the necessary information. A question and answer period is open through March 15th. All questions and answers will be posted on the project website. The price of the property will be determined according to fair market value and is negotiable based on demonstrated gaps in the development budget. The deadline to submit proposals to the Greensboro Planning Department is Tuesday, March 29th. Short-term rentals and how to regulate them will be the topic of discussion in a series of meetings hosted by the Greensboro Planning Department. The public can attend 2 virtual information sessions about proposed short-term rentals, which generally include the rental of private homes through services such as Airbnb and Vrbo. The meetings will take place via Zoom on Thursday, March 17th at 12:30 p.m. to 1:30 p.m. and again at 5:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. The Planning Department does not have a definition for this type of growing use of private property and currently regulates its use under the broader category of tourist homes, also known as bed and breakfasts. The city has been studying ways to address this type of rental use to encourage additional visitors and investment in Greensboro, while also limiting impacts on existing residential areas. To register for either session, send an email to Mike Kirkman and advise if you will attend the daytime or evening meeting. To review the draft regulations for short-term rentals, please visit the city's website. The city developed a partnership with Cone Health to share a series of brief and informative videos designed to inspire you to make better choices when it comes to healthy living. Following these tips is an easy way to help each of us improve our quality of life. Let's take a moment to check out today's news for your health.
Did you know that about 95% of people will develop back pain at some point in their life? I think there are some simple things you can do to help prevent the onset of back pain or reduce back pain that you may have. So let's talk about some of those ways. So I think one of the most important ways to avoid hurting your back is to avoid unnecessary bending, lifting, or twisting. We call it BLT because it's easy to remember. Bending, lifting, and twisting. Those are the things we want to try to avoid to try to help our back and try not to hurt our back. So we're going to show some of those things now. We're going to show the proper way to bend to pick up an umbrella off of the ground. So I think that's one way. I think there's 2 even better ways, and we're going to show that now. She's going to go down on one knee to pick it up. Right. What we really want to avoid is bending at the waist or the back to pick it up, and we really want to bend at the knees. I think that's important. The last way we can show to pick up things is called the golfer's bend, where we're leaning forward with a leg back and lift like that. And I think that's also easier on the back because it keeps the back straight. Again, we want to avoid bending at the hips and the back, but bend down instead. So one of the more difficult things you'll do around your house is bend over to pick up bigger objects that are somewhat more awkward. And we're going to show how to pick up a box now and try to do that without hurting our back. You see she gets down on one knee, she lifts the box, and she holds it close to her body. That's really important because if you hold it far from your body, it makes your back want to bend. It puts a fulcrum on your back. So it's important when you pick it up, then carry it close to your body. Now we're going to talk about twisting. And one of the things we twist to do is to grab objects such as tissue. So we're going to show how to correctly turn to grab a tissue. If you notice, she turned her whole body to grab the tissue and then her whole body back. And this is the wrong way to grab the tissue out of my hands. You notice she twisted her body that time. That puts undue forces on your low back and can cause back pain. I think there are several lifestyle changes people can make to improve their back health and either improve their back pain or prevent back pain. I think two of the most important are using good posture and using good body mechanics. So standing straight, sitting straight, lengthening the spine, and then using good body mechanics when lifting, bending, and avoidance of twisting maneuvers. Also, I think that for those who are overweight, losing weight down to an ideal body mass index can be very important. And I think reducing stress can also be important because it seems that any medical condition we have, stress seems to make it worse. So I think exercise is also extremely important, and I think exercises to improve core strength and improve flexibility, such as yoga and Pilates, are very important in prevention of back pain and improving chronic back pain. And lastly, I think quitting smoking can be very important in reducing back pain in those with chronic back issues. Smoking has been linked to degenerative disorders of the spine. Thanks for joining me today. Don't let a few wrong moves with your back stop your active lifestyle. To learn more, go to conehealth.com/backpain. This is Dr. David Jones.
The Greensboro Cultural Center is hosting the latest residency for original works, and there's still time to attend the Talk with Ty City Manager listening sessions. We'll have those stories and more news coming up after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to FYI Weekly. Requests for proposals, or RFPs, are being accepted by the City of Greensboro from housing developers. Proposals are due by 5 p.m. on Tuesday, March 15th. These developers must have already submitted a preliminary application to the North Carolina Housing Finance Agency for 2022 low-income housing tax credits to develop multifamily rental housing. This RFP for affordable housing development will award approximately $2.5 million using the Federal Home Investment Partnerships Program and city housing bonds. This will support new rental housing units, rehabilitation of existing rental housing units, conversion of non-residential buildings to rental housing use, or any combination of these. Proposals will be evaluated according to a point ranking system as a way to prioritize the projects. For more information about the RFP timeline for the current fiscal year, please review the RFP process schedule on the city's website or contact Cindy Blue, the city's Housing Services Manager, at 336-433-7376. Artist and curator Jordan T. Robinson, in collaboration with Laura Americo and Alicia Collins, are hosting a Greensboro residency for Original Works program through April 10th. The residency, titled Memoria, will focus on themes of identity and storytelling through a range of creative mediums. It will be housed at the Greensboro Cultural Center on North Davie Street in downtown Greensboro. The public can stop by each Monday from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. to learn about and help build a community temple, which will document the stories told throughout Memoria. Additional events are planned and they are free to attend. No prior experience is required to participate, and supplies will be provided. Robinson is an artist and curator dedicated to helping the community through art, design, and technology. His recent exhibitions and programs centered on the awareness of systemic challenges faced by artists of color and trans people. Americo is an artist and musician whose work focuses on the experience of Indigenous and gender-diverse communities, while Collins is a multidisciplinary artist with a focus on photography. Her work explores the concepts of home, motherhood, identity, and acceptance. You can register for the workshops in advance by visiting the Greensboro Cultural Center. Greensboro City Manager Taiwo Jayoba will wrap up the first round of his Talk with Tai City Manager listening sessions. The City Manager has been hosting 2 listening sessions in each of the 5 City Council districts, one in the afternoon and one in the evening. The final meetings are as follows: Wednesday, March 9th at 6 p.m. in the Leonard Recreation Center on Ballinger Road, and Thursday, March 10th at 6 p.m. at the Kathleen Clay Edwards Family Library on Price Park Drive. Residents can attend the listening sessions either in person with a limited capacity or tune in on the city's YouTube channel. Virtual attendees can submit questions through YouTube's chat box. March is designated as Poison Prevention Month, but you should take precautions each day of the year. Coming up after the break, we'll talk to the city's fire and life safety educator about preventing an accidental poisoning. Stay with us. Welcome back to FYI Weekly. According to the Health Resources and Services Administration, more than 90% of the time, poisonings happen in the kitchen, bathroom, and bedroom. Joining me now to talk about the various ways poisoning can occur is Dee Shelton. She is the Fire and Life Safety Educator with the Greensboro Fire Department. Hello, Dee. Welcome back.
Thanks, Carla.
Good to see you, as always. So we're talking about poison prevention. March is Poison Prevention Month. So are chemicals the only way we can be poisoned?
No, we can actually, so you have carbon monoxide poisoning as well. If you're using any fuels in the home, burning a fuel or attached garage, traditional wood burning chimney, all of that can put off carbon monoxide or CO. That is a type of poisoning. Also with our meds, if we are not sure about our meds, never share your meds with people that they were not intended for. Make sure that you are keeping up with, did I take my meds today? Those little weekly pill boxes kind of help you to remember, did you take them today or did you not? Because that could be a poisoning with an accidental overdose as well. Okay,
good point about not sharing your medication. Sometimes young people throw parties and they're just mixing things in a bowl and just going at it.
Not a good idea. Not a good. If your doctor did not prescribe a medicine for you, you should not take it. Other than your regular, everyday, aspirin or Tylenol or whatever, and follow the doctor's directions too. If they tell you to only take this amount, follow that direction.
Okay. Now, speaking of the medicated bottles, how do you know what is in the bottle, especially if the label may be old or faded?
Always labeling. Even if it's an older bottle that the label is fading, you can take a Sharpie marker or something and write on there what it is, because there are some chemicals or things that we don't use every day or weekly even, and so we may have them around for a little longer. Always make sure that you keep them in the original container and have that marked so that you know what it is.
Okay. Now, is it as potent, poisonous, or dangerous if the expiration date has come and gone?
Typically, especially with your meds, it usually means that your medications will not be as strong, but that is definitely a question for your pharmacist. But they put a date on there for a reason. We should definitely adhere to that expiration date.
Okay. And before you go, what is the best way we can be safe and prevent poisoning altogether?
Always locking up your meds, any cleaning products that you're using, any laundry detergents, poisons, anything that we feel like a small one might get to, make sure it's under a lock or at least way up out of their reach.
Okay, well, that's very simplistic. We can follow those tips. As always, you educate us about all the things that are important, and we may not always be thinking about poisoning and how we could be subject to that. So, of course, looking forward to your next visit and whatever useful life-saving information you will share.
Thanks, Carla.
Thank you, Dee. See you next time. Stay tuned for some useful information about Greensboro as we tell you something about the city. That's coming up after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to FYI Weekly. One way to stay informed about decisions that impact you and our city is by attending or tuning in to City Council meetings at 5:30 p.m. on the first and third Tuesday of the month. The fourth Tuesday is reserved for a meeting as needed. The City Council has resumed meeting in the Katie Dorset Council Chamber on Level 2 of the Melvin Municipal Office Building located at 300 West Washington Street. The public is allowed in person, but only in a limited capacity. Those who choose not to be in the building can participate virtually. The Greensboro City Council meetings are broadcast right here on GTN. The meetings are also streamed live on the city's website and on Roku. To review the council meeting schedule and agendas, please visit the city's website. Here's an opportunity to learn a little something about the city. Here's a friendly reminder. The deadline to submit project ideas for the fourth cycle of participatory budgeting is March 31st. The city will provide $500,000 from the 2023-24 budget to fund projects or programs recommended by residents. Simply complete the online idea form, which is available on the city's website in English and in Spanish. PB Greensboro is a democratic process where residents propose ideas, volunteers develop them into projects for a ballot, and residents age 14 and older can vote on which ideas get funded. Greensboro was the first city in the South to implement participatory budgeting back in 2015. Since then, more than 70 projects have been approved by residents. For more information about PB Greensboro, visit the city's website. Coming up after the break, we'll showcase our department spotlight, but first, let's meet our neighbors who boomeranged back to Greensboro.
My name is Dominic Amendum, and I'm a professor at UNCG. We moved to Greensboro because it was just the right time for our family to leave New York City, and it felt like the city was starting to beat us down, and we wanted to go somewhere where the quality of life could be better for our family. We love to take our kids to all the playgrounds and parks around Greensboro. We go to LeBauer Park downtown. We have a small playground right here in Sunset Hills, so we're constantly out and about and enjoying the good weather that North Carolina has to offer. One thing that makes Sunset Hills so amazing and exciting is our holiday tradition of lighted Christmas balls. Every old oak tree in our neighborhood is filled with these lighted Christmas ornaments, and this tradition is used as a fundraiser for local food banks.
I'm Swati Argade, and I'm a fashion designer and educator. We love Sunset Hills so much. It's a great community, a lot of like-minded people. Every day we're out walking around with our family and our dog, meeting our neighbors and enjoying the historic neighborhood that it is. One of the best things about being in Greensboro versus being in Brooklyn is that our 10-year-old daughter can just jump on her bike and spend hours outside, something that we weren't able to experience when we lived in the city. There are definitely some restaurants that we love to eat at. Bandito Bodega is one of our favorites. We're going to Undercurrents on Friday. But my favorite place to eat in town is at my mom's house.
Sunset Hills is the best neighborhood we could have moved to. The community here is amazing. We know all of our neighbors. It's just the most incredible community vibe that I could have ever imagined.
Welcome back. The City of Greensboro has more than 20 departments and several divisions committed to serving you, our residents and visitors. Let's go behind the scenes in our department spotlight. Toilets are the most common cause of household leaks. Small, undetected leaks can quickly add up, and most leaks grow in size. A slow toilet leak can use up to 1,000 gallons of water in a single day. This is why the Water Resources Department suggests you check toilets for leaks at least once a year. You can monitor water bills for unexplained increases, use water meters to detect household leaks, or take the toilet leak test. Drop 2 dye tablets or 10 drops of dark food coloring into the tank. Do not flush the commode until the next morning. If you see the color in the toilet bowl, that means your toilet is leaking. Replacing high-flow toilets with a low-flow model and checking for repairing leaks regularly are keys to reducing your household's water use. Another tip from Water Resources is to avoid using tablet cleaners in the back of the toilet tank. The ingredients in these products quickly break down the guts of your toilet, increasing the odds of a leak. Straight ahead on the other side of the break is this week's Way to Go GSO shout-out. Stay with us. As we draw to a close, we always want to end on a positive note with our Way to Go GSO shout-out. This week's shout-out goes to the Greensboro Parks and Recreation Department. Registration is open for summer day camps. Options include All-Stars Summer Day Camp, Camp Joy, Recreation Center Day Camp, Extreme Teen Adventure Week, and Greensboro Youth Service Learning Camp. There is also an option for the Counselor in Training program. Parks and Recreation will follow COVID-19 guidelines. At this time, face coverings are not required inside of city facilities, but that is subject to change. Camp-specific COVID-19 guidelines are still under development. For more information or to register, please visit each camp's website. That concludes this edition of FYI Weekly, but you can easily stay connected to the latest city news by linking to us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. Alexa users can subscribe to our 5-minute flash briefings, which airs on 90.1 FM and 100.7 FM. Be sure to download our weekly podcast, Talk City Greensboro, and now GTN is streaming on Roku. For all of us here at the City of Greensboro, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.